SIO is an amazing machine, and it fits perfectly with our brand and our mission.
They are so interested and so concerned about making a good product.
And he's like, oh my God, thank you for calling, and everything I have done has been because of you guys.
And now they can have more students learning faster and better for the whole industry.
That's
And
it.
you look at how fast our YouTube channel is growing, and it's built by the people.
So I'm on the phone going through all the leads, of course, and this great guy, Nick Priest at PMA out in Colorado, Priest Machining and Assembly. Just one of those conversations that you just, when you talk to somebody, you know, this guy, I'm just calling to follow up on the Depirico, and he's like, oh my God, he couldn't even believe that I was calling. He's like, wait, you're from Titans of CNC? I said, yeah, I'm just checking up on the Depirico. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for calling, and everything I have done has been because of you guys. I started about the same time you guys started making content. I was a carpenter. And I
awesome.
literally just said, I want one of these machines. I want to do what Titan's doing. So I bought, you know, Haas's at the time because that's what Titan was using. I use Blaser, coolant. I buy Kennametal tooling. I have the Mitutoyo. I bought a MyStar and a Krista Apex, and I'm like, God bless you. And this guy
awesome,
was just great.
Awesome.
It was great. So great conversation. Great guy. Great guy. Shout out to
What's
you,
his name, Nick?
Nick Priest.
What is up, Nick? Thank you so much for the support.
Agreed.
God bless you and your company, man.
Great conversation,
Boom.
Nick.
Yeah, keep it
That's
going.
so good. That's why I told you when you came over here, and I said, hey, distribution. And you're like, oh, how much am I going to be traveling? And I was like, dude, wait.
This ain't the 70s anymore. We don't,
Right,
we don't
right.
do house calls and sell vacuum cleaners.
Do I got paper brochures I could go door to door with?
Yeah.
Have you
So
heard of the
good.
Kirby vacuum?
Good
This
call.
is the latest and greatest Tupperware.
It is. That's why, like, I'm not into IMTS. I'm not into emo, but I just love seeing the people, seeing the industry, the fabric of like what makes all of our great countries, man.
Bro,
And
we
that
just
is the people.
We just left lunch today, and on the way out of this burger joint we went to, this guy stands up out of his booth. Titans of CNC.
I didn't know you were here.
He's got the shirt. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even know we were in Texas. Like, we're right 2 miles down the road.
So good, man.
So
good.
funny.
So I said, stop
awesome.
by. We'll give you a shirt.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Super
But
good.
it's stories like that, like this guy, Nick, which great guy, right? Like we always talk about the people in this. I was on the phone with him like 40 minutes. I felt bad because I was taking up his time because he's making chips. And, right, they start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And he got into it slow, and he slowly built his shop. And he sounds like he's about a 6-7 man shop, he said. And it just sounds like one of those things that he said, without going through the building blocks, without learning, you know, Mastercam and learning everything that he did through the series, he wouldn't even be here. So it was just, I love that. It just gets me charged.
How many machines does he have now?
He's got 5 total, getting his 6th this year, he
6
said.
machines, and he was a carpenter.
And he was a
Yeah.
carpenter.
Amazing.
Yeah. He
What
just loved the videos.
It's amazing.
What did he start with?
Lots of great men started off as carpenters. Just
That's
saying.
very true.
Yeah,
One in
name-
particular.
name of
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Super good. But I mean, that's the greatest thing. I mean, that I'm not comparing myself with anybody. I'm just like, I came from nothing. I came from prison. Everybody knows my story. And I walked in, they put me in front of a machine, and like my entire life changed. Like, these machines will change your life. And that's what our academy does, is we fight to actually bring awareness. One, social media, lots of bad things about social media, but you're connected to the entire world. All these young people that have no idea what manufacturing is, all of a sudden you're bringing awareness to everyone that there is manufacturing. This is actually everything that you touch, that you live in, that all the toys that you have, the phone that you have, the car, it's all parts assembled.
100%.
And they're made on CNC machines, or the mold was made on a CNC machine, but it's all parts. And you could go learn that for free on our academy, and you can actually get into this trade. And people are talking about the skills gap and just talking. And thank you guys for dedicating your lives and coming down here, and the whole team dedicated to actually bringing awareness that people can actually change their lives.
Yeah.
Get right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Buy a CNC machine. Go to the building blocks on the academy. Click on one of the tutorials. Grab all the prints, the just everything, the inspection documents, everything, download everything, and actually just learn how to actually run these machines.
It's what he did.
Boom.
Yeah,
And you know,
what this guy
it's
did.
super cool too, because like so many people that we've talked to were in a completely different trade. I mean, you look at Troy Gomez, he
Yeah,
was
I was
in
just
IT.
about to bring that up, yeah.
You look at this guy, he was a carpenter. We hear these stories all the time, and they switched to CNC machining, and it didn't take long.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you go to a trade school and they'll start telling you, oh, you know, you got 4 years, you know,
Right.
we'll teach you the manuals and then we'll teach you the basics. And it's like, no, like you take your buddy Charlie that came here as an apprentice, and what did it
Absolutely.
take him? 3
Charlie
weeks?
Stamps.
Right?
3 weeks, and he was already machining
parts.
his own parts. He had already programmed them all, modeled them all. So it doesn't take that long. If you're in a trade that you don't really like, if you're flipping burgers, you could be doing this
Yep.
in a month or two's
The
time.
one thing it
100%.
does take is for you to put in the time.
Yep, and the effort.
You put in the time and the effort, and you can do it.
And
pretty
that's
quick.
what this guy said. The same thing. I mean, he just literally said the same thing. He's like, you know, right today's now. We want we can't wait. And he was like, I cannot believe how quick I got through this and got my first machine. And he just led into everything else. And it is. Those stories are they come out so much more these days. It took a lot back then. These days, you know, with CAD/CAM, with machines, with what we've got going, there's an entry level and an entry point now into this industry that wasn't there 25 years
Oh, yeah.
ago.
I mean, my brother has always talked to me wanting to start his own machine shop. And for me,
Wait. Is that the brother that now is probably going to work at Blue Origin?
that is the brother. We're not going to name
just
which
saying.
brother, but that is
That
the same
brother. That
Yeah.
brother.
But, you know, he's a good machinist, and, you know, me and him watched my grandpa and my dad, so we know how the business works. The thing is, for me, you know, I have 3 kids, a wife. It's kind of late in my career, and it's hard for me to take the risk involved
Yep.
in that kind of capital investment. I mean, I can't go spend $250,000 on a machine. I can't spend $130,000 if I don't have customers lined up and a good plan knowing what I'm going to do.
Sure.
So I've always told them, like, man, you know, I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I watch grandpa and dad, you know, struggle, and I just can't risk that.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
you know, it's cool to see all the entry level stuff that's out there now and how much better it's been getting.
Oh, dude, I remember in the early days. So, right, I started selling Haas in 1994, right? They started in 88 and rotary tables in 83, machines in 88. And then it took them a long time to get to a point of, you know, okay, this is a quality machine. And then, you know, you start to see probably a good 10-year period, even maybe 14 before it became industry accepted. And now, today in 2024, the new year, look what's
Dude,
behind
oh
us.
man, yeah, we got
Look at
new
this.
machines. We got new machines, and
It's crazy.
I'm excited, man.
Oh, bro, I'm excited.
You know, our
Over the
our
top.
website, I'm super excited about our website. So, titansofcnc.com. A lot of people have seen it, but it is completely revamped. It's completely new. Go check it out. And on it, you're going to see that we have ventured into a new realm.
of
And
this
it is
industry.
amazing. And yeah, we are now
A machine tool distributor.
a machine to
The the
No,
national.
but we are the national distributor
US
for
distributor for
Sile.
Sile. Yep.
And Sile is an amazing machine, and it fits perfectly with our brand and our mission because we're about bringing awareness and teaching this industry and bringing people in and helping
Yep.
people start their companies. And so you're teaching them, and instead of going to college, you can actually get a machine that's priced at like 29, 30 grand. And then, of course, you can
build from
you can
there.
build from there.
Yep.
And the machines are actually great because there's a lot of machines out there. No offense on even Haas, but like some of the machines that are priced super low, they're just not that great.
Right.
And as you said, they're getting better and better. And this is a machine that we actually believe in, that it has amazing components. It's a great, fast machine that has some power, priced at a low range where you can put it in your garage, you can learn the trade,
Yeah.
you can start your company. It's a great machine for doing small parts, for doing even companies that have all these big DNs and all that. Like it's a great second op machine or just for smaller parts.
Yep.
And then like that bad boy right there, the X5, that thing is like a robo-drill. Like
It
everything
is.
speeds around, boom, boom,
And it
boom.
look-
Both of them have a 1 second tool change.
Yep, it's got a small
0.3.
footprint, man. I mean, you
Yeah.
can put this in your linen closet, you know.
It is so
And
tiny.
it's got good torque and it's got good horsepower. I
Yeah.
mean, everything about the machine impressed me. And, you know, I really love the fact that our first real foray in the machine distribution is going to be something that's this high quality.
Yeah.
That
Super
is
good.
the kicker with these guys. So it's interesting. I've known these guys for quite a while because they were kind of like a Tormach type machine. They were a Tormach type
They're
competitor
completely different, though.
for a long
Super,
time.
Yeah.
And they started back in 06 in the U.S. And these guys, you know, for a number of years just kind of were doing well. They were not selling a lot. And it was about 4 years ago, they totally revamped everything. They went to these Schneeberger mineral castings, which are an epoxy granite casting
Out of Switzerland.
out of Switzerland,
Yeah.
which if you look at epoxy granite, the thermal stability of that casting, it's like 10 times this
Cast
more
iron.
stable than
Yeah.
cast iron. It's
The dampening
crazy.
is like 10 times.
Yes.
Like it is just, everybody's going to like cast iron and stuff.
It's
and
been
then,
like that for
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
and then this one is like, it's a beast. And you just feel it. Like, I don't know if I can like.
Solid.
That thing is solid.
Solid.
It's, just, it's a
Solid.
rock, man.
You hit that side of that damn sheet metal, and it is not some thin gauge sheet metal. That is legit. And they go THK guideways and ball screws. So they go Japanese guideways and ball screws. They literally have the quality. You go on their page, and I love these guys because you want to talk about passion, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Shu, the owner of Sile, this guy is all about this industry, loves it. And Wesley Wang, who's our good friend down in Houston, who I went and saw when I first got here, another just great individual, loves the industry. The quality that goes into these things, I have been selling machine tools for 30 years. And I've sold a lot of different brands. And I have never seen a very well-built, entry-level, great control. Have you guys gone in this control?
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It is pretty awesome, actually. These machines,
It's so easy, so clean.
it is
too.
clean. It's easy. A lot of the complaints that we have about some of the more archaic control types
Yeah.
of today, these don't have those issues. I mean, like, you want to put a program on from your USB, you just hit copy. You don't even have to hit paste. It's just copy. And so, like, it's super user friendly. I mean, everything comes off of, you know, one main screen. It's super
The
easy to
memory's
find
like
everything.
3 to 4 gigs.
Yeah, three gigs. I mean,
Yeah.
you could go out and spend $1 million on a machine today, and you're going to have like 128 megs. You know,
Right.
It's like you can't even fit
Gotta
a
get
dynamic.
data server.
Yeah, you have to have data servers. You can't fit a single dynamic tool path in this $1 million machine. It's like,
Right.
is this an Atari or is this a modern
Right.
computer?
Yeah.
So, like, we dumped a 3 gig program earlier, and it was just blazing fast.
Zip.
Man. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. It's like it's an affordable machine, but it has like a very expensive machine options
Yeah.
on it. Or
Oh,
not
yeah.
options, but like
Standard features.
that is that you would normally get with a much more expensive machine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got spindle orientation, and not just orientation, you got the angular spindle orientation. So, you know, you want to orient at a certain angle for like a single point broach or something.
Yeah.
It's already in there. I know a ton of machines that don't even support that,
Yeah.
that cost a lot more.
Custom macros are standard. Rigid tapping is standard. The memory is standard. They put you got Ethernet.
THK high precision. Did you talk about that already?
THK guideways
The
and
ball screws and
yeah.
guide. Yeah, super
Well,
good.
you get 100 offsets, work offsets.
Yep.
100 work offsets.
Yep.
Just standard
Standard.
already.
Custom
That's amazing.
macros standard.
On
Yeah.
a machine that costs less than a freaking Kia. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
your payment on this thing would be less than a Kia.
Yeah.
So,
It is incredible.
And
No,
with
they've hit a home run. They've hit a home
Absolutely.
run.
Oh, it's a beautiful machine. That's what I can't get. I've seen these machines for, like I'd said, told y'all earlier. I've been researching these machines for a couple years now.
Yeah.
About putting in my garage, and I knew they were good looking machines, and like there was just something different about them.
Yeah.
Over like something like a Tormach or something, like you can physically tell that or see that, but still, even though I've been watching these for a while. Once they got here, I was still so blown away by
Yeah.
how beautiful they are.
Yeah.
And the craftsmanship all the way around it.
Yeah, and that's
completely solid. Yeah.
and that's what you say. You say that's what this difference is. In these last 4 years, Like they know they can compete against the big boys now. They know that the brands that are out there, they're gonna have some competition on this entry level machine.
And a lot of the other companies are going cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Yep.
And they're getting more, just
cheapening
worse
the
parts.
components.
Like you were talking about the way covers, where they're like galvanized
instead of steel.
and then these are steel.
Steel way covers.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I think sets them apart from a lot of people? It's when Wesley came here to help set these machines up, and if you just watch his mannerisms, you watch how focused he was.
Yeah.
And what's the owner?
Doug.
Doug,
Show.
and then Mr. Chu. They are so interested and so concerned
Yep.
about making a good product.
Yes.
And they are, and you don't see that.
Nope.
Right? It's not, well, how many of these can I sell? It's, I want to make a good product.
You got it.
And how do I make this better? And it was like, it's very apparent that was their mindset
Yeah.
in all this. And
They want the
Yep.
feedback.
I mean, yeah,
They
that's-
want the feedback. And honestly, I think that's what built some of these companies. One in particular, Haas, in the early days, they listened to their customers. They did. That's what made them a better machine. People, when they came out in 88, I sold them very shortly after that, 6 years after they were being built. And we had tool changers falling off the casting and onto the table. And they had some issues, and they got through all those. These guys have been through the early days. This is now their kind of hit into the industry on a large level.
Well,
I
like
like to think of it like, you think about it. Think about it like this. This is the worst these machines are ever going to be,
Yes.
because they're only going to get better.
Yes.
And they're only going to gain more functionality.
and they're already incredible.
And they're
Yeah.
already
And,
incredible.
like me and Keith were talking earlier, a lot of the machine tool builders, especially the ones that, people rave about being made in America.
Yeah.
Now they're 90% foreign components.
They're
Components,
assembled in
yes.
America.
Foreign low quality components.
Foreign
But you look at
castings.
these, they're Swiss components, they're
Lots of
Japanese,
Japanese
components.
components,
Yep.
I mean, 90% of this machine is made in the countries that are synonymous with high quality.
Yeah. Agreed. It's fantastic. And you look at the control, that Syntac control. You've got a couple options. You go, the LNC control is their kind of entry level control, and that maybe there's a guy in the garage just getting
You can
going.
do single phase off it.
You could go
Yep.
single phase. This machine for $19,000. $19,500 with that entry level control.
Wow.
But
Crazy.
then they also go this Syntac, which is I think the one that they probably is their bread and butter. It sells probably the most. But then you can go Siemens as well.
Syntac, a lot of people don't know about Syntac. It is so user friendly.
Yeah.
It is so simple. And like I have never used it before.
Yeah.
And yet it is one of the most popular all throughout Asia. It's actually one of the most popular controls.
Number
I think
two
only
to Fanuc.
yeah.
Number
only
two to Fanuc. Yep.
But a lot of people like it better than Fanuc
Well,
just because of how easy it is. Like you
exactly.
said, like you put in a program and it's like just copy, you know?
Done deal.
Yeah, and the machines are fast. I mean,
Yep.
these things are rapiding at like, 1,307.
1200, yeah.
That guy right there is 1,377 inches per minute. Like it's getting after it,
And
And
1181 on this guy, you don't slow down too much on a larger frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you're feeding, smoothing everything like
Yep.
393 inches per minute. Like that's cooking.
That is
Yeah.
cooking.
And it's got like 16 horsepower.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got 16 horsepower.
Yep.
Like
Wow.
it actually stays up there for a decent amount of time.
It sure does. Yeah.
Where you see these other guys, they go like, 200% or whatever, and then like it goes up and it just is like diving and
Yeah.
stuff.
If
So-
you're going to do it for 4
super good.
minutes, you
Yeah.
can
Right,
run it
right.
200%.
Right.
So that guy's 10 horsepower. This guy's 16 horsepower. Super good. Even the foot pounds are good. Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good torque.
They-
I mean, I've seen a lot of the hobby machines where they have like 1 horsepower.
One.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
1.5.
yeah, 2 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to do with that? Of course, Titan would go cut Monel with it, But
Well, for
like,
me, even on only times I've seen like 30,000 RPM spindles or something, like anything over 12
Yeah.
has been like, or maybe 15 is on like special machines.
Yeah.
Specialty bought. This thing's got 20,000 RPM.
Standard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
12,000 over here.
Exactly. With a 30K option, and I don't know that maybe 30K, they go from a BT30, which everything they do is BT30, and there are some 40 taper options, but When they go to the 30K spindle, they go to the HSK 40E
Right.
option. Which,
40E. That's
yeah,
interesting.
it's the
'Cause so we had
40E.
Makino that was 30K, and they were HSK, I think F.
Yeah, they're correct, exactly.
But they didn't. It's cool because it was just a taper, and it didn't have any like notch or
Dogs.
anything for like a dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like it was just straight taper. So it was nice. They went really fast, great for good small tools.
Yep.
But you didn't want to put a lot of torque on that. thing,
That's
right?
it.
So-
That's it.
And then whenever you go that fast, it's all about speed
Yeah.
and contouring super
Step
quick,
overs.
small little
Tiny
parts,
tools.
light materials.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
beautiful finishes.
But
Super
that's the
good.
thing. You know, they're across their line. They go X5, X7, the X9 and 11 are out. They're coming, and then the U5 is their 5-axis that's coming. beyond
X9 comes out. That's like
Mark, we'll have one.
that's,
We'll have
that's
one
a
in,
40 taper.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
40 taper, 40/20 size machine. We'll have one here, I think, in March. It's great, and I look at this as a insane opportunity. If you're thinking of getting into this industry, there is no better place to start. I've sold thousands of machines, and this one is built amazingly well. And tool probes, you know, tool setters,
Spindle probes.
spindle
Yeah,
probes.
you name it. I mean,
You know, they
are
didn't forget
stacked.
anything. You know, you can get a rotary table, you get a 4th axis with the drives, wiring, and table for $5,200. I mean, come on, it's crazy.
I think that
It's crazy.
I think people that follow us, they know that we don't just do anything. We
Yeah.
don't just bring in machines because people are offering us money. Every single machine tool
call.
company wants to put product on our floor because it's the most visible floor in the world, period. And a lot of people were surprised when I actually took out Makino.
Yeah.
And I took out DMG Mori, and we brought in Doosan at that time. And it's not like you can't get money and do different things. You know what I mean? It was like that was me as the leader of a company and respecting the people, that the community that we're working hard for, that we're building the academy for, and doing all of that. And then just looking at them and saying, look, we've done 1 million Haas tutorials. And they're all still there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
People are still using them.
Still using them.
We've done all of it, you know. We've done Fusion 360. They're still there. But we want to keep elevating so we can teach the entire trade. But for me, I was like, if there's a lot of people that have Haas's, they don't necessarily need to jump up to a Makino. They
Right.
don't need to jump up to a DMG Mori. So just because, you know, if we go there, they're going to be like, that's what I have to get because Titan
Sure.
got it. And it's like, hey, here's Doosan. It's just a nice step up, but it's 20 to 30% less expensive than other premiums, even though it's a premium brand. And it's like, so there was a lot of thought that went into that. And now they're at this nice high
Great level. Yep.
So for us, this just makes perfect sense because I don't want to compete with them. I don't want to compete with Heller even on the higher end,
Of course.
which we have a reason why we pick them, you
Yep.
know. We're putting our name on this brand right here because of the precision, the quality, the components, and what it can do for our audience.
Yep.
This is the best machine to purchase, to start a company, to build a career, to learn the trade for this in this price range. You know, I'd say like this thing's 30 something, 30 to 40 grand.
With
but it's
options.
competing with the 60,000. It's better than a lot of the $50,000-$60,000
Yep.
machines out there. It's
100%.
better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like anything below DN, this is the guy. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I would agree
Absolutely.
with you.
And a lot of people don't hear the conversations that we have off camera. But like when I first started here, I asked Titan like, "Hey, why did you pick Doosan? Why are you going with these couple of Kennametal tools I see all the time?" And the answer was exactly the same. It was like, "Barry, I'll only represent the things that I believe in,
Yep.
that I believe are going to do justice for our community."
Yep.
And I had the utmost respect when I heard that, and I'm happy to see that we're carrying on with that same.
And you can see, thank you.
Yeah,
and you can see now that you've been here for years. Weird, right?
I know, right?
I
Yeah,
know.
it feels like just
Who knows he
You
could
know?
last that long at a place?
Right.
But you can see it. I mean, there's a million companies that want to partner with us.
Right.
And you can't be hanging from like so many
No.
strings and trying to please everyone. You have to be very precise, and it's not. It can't be about money. It has to be about respect. Because once you make it about money, if you lose the respect of the audience and they start looking at you and being like, hey, you're selling out, you're this, you're that.
You told me to buy this and
I
it
know.
sucks.
When you look at YouTube
That's
and
it.
you look at how fast our YouTube channel is growing and our different platforms, like it's built by the people.
Yep.
Like that's why I love it, because you can have all these companies, they're huge and they have billions of dollars, and it's like, but they can't have social media platforms because the people are the ones that
Yep.
subscribe.
Yep.
The people have to love you enough to do it. And no offense on like companies, they're just biased to their own products.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, that's
yeah,
the other
it means
thing.
a lot. It means a lot.
Look at, if you have some interest, and you obviously can go to the link that we'll put on this podcast to find out. Go to our store.
And we're the national distributor
National
for
distributor.
these machines. You can purchase right there. Send this bad boy
Get it
right
out.
here. Like, get a quote from them and like make it happen.
But it's interesting. Like, our Facebook group is wonderful.
Yeah.
It monitors itself. It polices itself. There's so much positivity. People help each other. And if you take a look at Sile's Facebook
Yeah.
group, it
The
is
Sile group,
very
yeah.
awesome.
It
These
is awesome.
guys
Everyone's
are fantastic.
passionate.
They are passionate.
There's there are people that, they have little issues here. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that.
Yep.
And then they're helping each other and stuff. But every single person, that's why when we were making the decision, I went over there and joined.
I remember that.
I went over there and joined. And then as soon as I joined, one of the top guys actually posted and said, "Hey, welcome, Titan. This and this." And then a bunch of them were like,
Commented.
"Hey, I learned this trade from you. I learned
Yeah.
this trade from you. And are you gonna do education?" And at that time, we were just looking, like we were still investigating, we were still doing. But that was one of the processes that I put in place. Was like, I'm
Heck yeah.
gonna go to the people. And I'm going to go read. And as they posted and said, "Hey, I had this issue," I wanted to know what the issues were and how they were getting fixed and what the
Yep.
feedback. And 100% of it was positive.
Yep.
But what I also
100%.
saw was that a lot of these things that they're working through, we can simply make videos.
Yeah.
Like we'll make videos on the controls. We'll make videos on making parts of all different types of materials and speeds and feeds and ingredients and all of it. But also on maintenance, on like, that's a huge thing on this thing too. If you're a newbie and you crash this spindle, it's not the end of the world.
No.
It's $3,000.
Yeah.
It's $3,000.
Brand new
You know what I
spindle.
mean? Brand new spindle and stuff. So like, we can actually do videos on how to actually replace a spindle, how to actually do these different things,
Yep.
And apparently, they send you a spindle, and it is super simple to replace.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
there's just something, like you said, that group, that Facebook group is so great. I think his name's Derek. He's down in Bakersfield. Super good guy. You could see some of the posts that he puts out there just on their group. And he said the two things that he wished that there was more of from Sile was a little bit of applications help, which these guys, a lot of the guys are looking for answers for certain things that the
Which
group does
now
answer.
we're gonna help with.
But that's what we're going to help with. And the other side is just those tutorials on the fix-it stuff, because like you said, the group is so positive, and there is very few. I couldn't find any. I literally, like Titan did, looked through so many comments and so many different posts. It's
Same here.
positive.
Yeah,
It's
not a
great.
single negative
No,
thing was
it's
said about it.
amazing.
And these
So-
are from the people that actually own these
own 'em.
machines and
Correct.
are using them every
Yep.
day.
You know, when we started investigating and then you asked for a customer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you asked them, "Hey, is there any customers around the Dallas-Fort Worth area?"
Yep.
And then what was the gentleman's name?
John, I think right up in Frisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were going to go over there and look at the machine. I'm like, "I want to go." "Hey, Barry."
Let's go.
And we all jumped in the car and we went over there, and then we knocked. It was like went up to somebody's house.
House.
We're like,
Titan's like,
okay.
where are you
I
taking
know
me?
we're looking for a business, and it's like we're in a
I
residential
know.
neighborhood.
So we're like knocking on the door, and then the guy opens the door, and he was like blown away.
Blown away. He thought I was only coming. Remember? He's
Yeah.
like, wait, Barry's here? The Titan's here?
I know. And then we walked through his house. We're like, "Can we come in?" And we walked through through his house into his garage, which was in the back, and then he's taking all the Titan parts from the building blocks.
up on his
He's like, I wouldn't be here like doing this if it
So
wasn't for you
funny.
guys.
Yeah, that was
I
so
made
cool.
all the parts and learned how to machine, and then he was like showing the
Making golf putters.
yeah, and he had a fixture, and then
You
I
were
gave
helping
him a little bit of feedback on like, hey, if you did this and this and this, and then he did a post. Did you see that?
I didn't see
Oh,
the
I
post,
didn't
no.
see
He
that
did
either.
He did a post
Get out.
in the SIO user group, and he showed the thing, and he thanked
What a
us for the
stud.
help
That's
of
a good
what we
dude.
actually
Nice.
did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I have to go back and check
But
for that.
You and
that
me both.
that guy didn't have to take his time, and he was so excited
Yeah.
to show us the machine.
Yeah.
And he even put in steel, and he was just like, I want to show you how this thing cuts. Like, I was just like, that's awesome.
It was awesome.
But again, you like hit the side of that thing. Go ahead, tap that thing.
I mean,
Dude,
that is
it is
solid.
solid, man.
You think
It
about
is
some of
solid.
the other entry-level machines we've seen. If you hit it like that, the entire
Oh, yeah.
enclosure will just wobble. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah,
Super
you
crazy.
could take off the side door, so you got anything of length that you got to stick through there, they come right off. And then you got dual USB ports right in the front. They got Cat 5 for Ethernet, so you can network this thing.
Yeah.
This is all standard. This you ain't buying options. You
Right.
know, it's
you could
crazy.
run program right off the USB as well.
Yes, you can.
And
Yeah.
then we just filmed 2 tutorials on each one on just setting it up. So when it comes, you can actually just use
Yeah.
a standard forklift that can go about 5,000,
Yep.
6,000 pounds, lift it up, put it down, and then basically boom, 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 show you exactly how to set it up.
Yeah, bingo.
Super
And the
good.
process was super fast, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It was like, if I had to put a time on it, it was maybe an hour.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
if you have power, you have air. All you got to do is hook the power up to your
That's- yeah.
transformer and hook air up to the machine, and you're pretty much ready to roll.
Ready.
Have a
Cool.
precision level, make sure everything's right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just put on the
Yeah.
tape. You know, it was
Same
an
as
hour.
This
nothing
thing
to
had air and coolant
Yeah.
hooked to it.
Isn't that crazy?
So good.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I sold again a number of machines. You start in the morning, the guy's done it. It's an 8-hour day to install a machine. It was like both machines were done in like 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And that's
While-
with,
while filming.
Yeah,
While
while, they're
filming.
filming. While
Yeah,
they're
good
teaching.
call.
We know those guys are slow.
Yeah. I just want
Love it.
to reiterate, you know,
Oh, man.
this is an amazing trade. If you look at the future of this trade, and you look at the future of our country, of everything is made. You look at Elon and his robots; they're all. Every time I see these new products coming out, and I think like, man, every single human being is going to have them. Oh, there's going to be like millions of them. There's going to be all these things. They're going to change all airplanes. They're going to change all this, like changing cars. It's all parts that are being machined.
Totally.
And stuff. So there's so much opportunity. And right now, like companies are like dying for people, like
Yep.
because they just don't have enough people. So it's like, instead of like, not everybody's built for college and to put all that money into college, you know, it's like you can actually get one of these, put them in your garage, and actually teach yourself the trade using our academy our academy is 100% free, and man, it'll change your life.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know what I mean? Like, you got to be in the right position. Not saying that don't go spend your life savings and
Right.
not have any plan in place or anything like that. But if you're looking for a life change and you want to learn a trade, it is amazing. And if you're opening a company or you have a couple machines and you're looking for a third, fourth, fifth machine, and you run a lot of like smaller components and stuff, even out of steel, aluminum, whatever, even titanium, you can actually get these machines
Yep.
and actually not spend the big money.
Yep.
And they're perfect, man.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. No, interesting. when
And
you're
you can
talking-
buy them at titansofcnc.com.
Oh, yeah.
Boom,
right there.
right there.
I think it's
Absolutely.
interesting too. You know, I heard earlier that that Sile had an order for 400 machines.
Yes.
So some of the bigger shops are starting to take
Yeah.
notice of these things too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. Like any shop that is wanting to start a internship, this is
Oh.
perfect for that.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic call.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, that is
Super
Jesse, home run right there. You are so many guys I used to call on shops that, needed workers, needed people, and they didn't know how to invest. Or like you send them to a trade school or community college, and they're like, oh, the curriculum isn't that good. If they're not using Titans, it's like we're just going through motions. They start them in manual, and you are totally right. You put one of these, literally this X7, it starts like at $36,000, and you 36 grand. You think about that. come on, this thing will do anything you want to put
Yep.
on it. You add a couple features, you might be at around that 42 range, but put one in your shop for an apprenticeship program. My God,
Or in your school.
or in your school.
I mean, you know, for the price, a lot of schools, they might go buy $130,000 machine.
You got
They
it.
could buy 3 now.
You got
and
it.
now they can have more students learning faster, and
Yeah.
you know, it's better for the whole industry.
And
Yeah,
guess
because-
what? You buy them 3 machines, we'll give you our curriculum for free.
That's awesome, man. So good, so good.
Well, I've been
But-
there. You know, like you're in school and you got 30 kids in class
And one machine.
One machine, and it's like you're not really
true.
learning a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And the nice thing is that, you know, a lot of these hobby machines will have like this control in the front that doesn't look like anything else
Yes.
that you'll ever see the rest of your career. But these have all the same, you know, buttons.
Yep.
It's the same old edit, memory, you know, jog, all the stuff that we're used to seeing on the $1 million machines are on this machine. So it's a super easy transition to industry.
Well, great call. The nice thing that Wesley was talking to me about is basically you can post this out like a FANUC.
Yeah,
Everything is posted like FANUC
Yeah.
except 2 G codes.
Right.
And that's it. You make 2 switches and you basically have your post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
this machine.
Mastercam, I know like Fusion already has a post for this.
For the
right?
style. Yep.
But then for Mastercam, we'll just make one and then we'll
Yeah.
put it up there and just open source it for everyone.
Yeah.
There
Free.
you go. Yeah.
Super easy.
Love it. Love it.
And you know, that's one of the things that we talk about
Great
a lot.
call.
We do not
is-
condone crashes.
Yeah. It will be a
Your
safe
fault.
post. Yeah, correct.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you know, we talk about a lot, me and Jesse especially, how if you don't have a good post processor for your machine,
Yeah.
your machine might as well be
Yeah.
a boat anchor.
Yep.
So you know, a good post is super important.
Super important.
And with these machines, they make that super simple. So
Yep. Yeah.
I love it.
It's great
yeah,
stuff.
super good.
But good call, Jesse. That is you nailed that. I agree with you. I sold so much into the educational system. You know, Northern California, Northern Nevada, for my area that I had was the highest concentration of CNC machine tools in high schools and junior colleges. And you're right. They could buy one. You know, some bought 2. Some had a little bit more money back when they were given CTE grants. It was tough for them to get those funds to put a spindle on the floor. And you get $100,000 now, you got 3 spindles.
Yeah.
That is a
Well,
great
we've
call.
been talking about this a lot in the last year and a half since Titan did his first European tour, you know, and it opened up a lot of our eyes about every single company that he went into there had an apprenticeship program. And it
Yes.
was
They-
years
they
long.
built
and
their own employees.
Yes,
Yep.
and they stay there for 30, 40 years, and
Yep.
it's like it was just every
Their
company.
kids
and,
go there.
yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was just like, man, we need that. And then the more he did it, it's
Yeah.
like, we got to
But-
get on the ball
but-
here, dude.
Yes,
Like, and-
exactly.
But
You
it,
ain't
was, it was
kidding.
already in process. Like the academy,
Yeah.
that's what it was always about. Going to Europe was just a great way to show everybody that hey, this used to be important here, but we forgot our way.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're still doing it, and we need to get it back. And you need to take it serious.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And nobody
100%.
knows the parts that you're making. You know, so it's like use our academy, use the building blocks, use the rocket, use the fixturing, use everything, and then incorporate your own parts and train people how they need. Teach them what you need them to know on your floor.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
100%
And the
agreed.
type of materials that you run. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been a big conversation ever since then. Like, at least for me, like I've really been sensitive to that, you know, like honing in on that. And more than ever in the last year and a half, I've heard more companies talking about implementing an apprenticeship program than I have in my entire career.
Yep.
And that's such a good thing. And
so
I
good.
Yep.
can't wait to see how far that goes. And with something like this, it just makes it so much
And
easier.
I want to just say something that is important for people to understand too. And I think it reflects on us. And I want to like say that there's a lot of people, a lot of distributors out there. There's a lot of machines, and there's machines cost big money.
They do.
When coming into this, it was important for them that they didn't raise the price.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we actually took a much lower percentage than anybody else would.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we wanted to make sure that the price was good for the community and
Yeah.
stuff. So I just want to say, like, you know, this is the next step for us, for Titans of CNC, is machine tool sales, but being very strategic in going after the type of machines that work perfectly for our audiences and not competing with our other partners and stuff.
Yep.
And then to, to price it a certain amount that is good for them, where we make some money. And it's important that we make money. You know why?
God, we're a
Because when
business.
you look at the industry,
Yep.
man, nobody else is creating free education.
Right.
Nobody else is bringing the awareness that we're bringing, and it costs a lot of money. So this is how, instead of having like 1 million partners, this is how we're going to actually fund our free education programs. This is how we're going to fund the growth of everything we do in this industry.
Well, and you and I have talked about this, right? We've kind of had these, like Barry says, in the circles around the shop when we're talking. We don't want to dilute the product of what we're giving our partners. So we can't continue that. We love the crew that we have, the guys, the people that we are partnering with, and that we have now. They are we're in it together, but. To keep adding them, it's gonna dilute what we are able to put out in terms of content for them. So we can't do that. This is a great entry into that market.
And it's what we're doing is expensive. We're hiring more people.
Yeah.
When you look at CNC Expert and you start saying 14, 15,000 certifications,
Yes.
each certification has been individually inspected, just like SpaceX would inspect your part and write documentation. We do the same thing. And that is something that people don't see, and that is something that's behind the scenes. And it's a lot of man hours.
Oh my
it is
God,
a lot of man hours
Absolute.
to do that, and that costs money.
And a lot of people don't understand it's actually titans of CNC employees that are
exactly.
doing that. I've done them. Jesse's done them. Nicole does them.
Yeah.
We all do them.
Yeah.
So
Remember Cad Beast, Billy Boyce, shout out to him. I mean, that guy
Cert
is
King.
just all day, man.
Yep.
Yeah, one thing I think we got to hit on too. You mentioned it earlier about the new website.
Yeah.
Right. There was so many multiple, designations URLs to go to. If it was Titans Academy, if it was tooling, if it was store.
CNC
now
Expert.
everything is
Everything.
CNC Expert. Right.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit because of the new web page and the news. We've been able to streamline it, put everything under one.
A lot of people, they go to one of our platforms and they think that's us.
Right.
They're like, oh, they got this aerospace academy, or they have the regular academy, or they have, I went to Titans of CNC, or I went to the store, or I went to CNC Expert. There's so much.
Yeah.
And we keep getting better.
Right.
So our origin of how we actually started basically was kind of old school. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it was built, it was kind of clunky and just didn't have, like, we had just branched off into such great websites and stuff. So now we went back and we made our original website amazing, and we brought in all these other ones and we just put them all there. So you can be in one place, you can buy tools, buy CNC machines, you can learn about us, you can watch videos, you can go to our aerospace academy, our regular academy, our grinding academy, our future Swiss academy, and everything is just right there.
Yeah. It's so
super
great.
easy.
So
and
great.
it's so simple to use.
Yeah.
Everything is right there. You just move it. And even like the purchasing.
Yeah.
Like when you look at these machines, it goes down and then it just like you got little sliders and you got little things, little drop downs, and it just all the information's right there. The price is right there. That's it. You have funding.
Yes. Intech.
Somebody
my
in tech,
boys.
you've worked with those guys for how long?
So I've worked in tech, right? When you're buying machines, that's one of those like just, maybe there's guys that have their lenders, for instance, and when I sold machines, that reflected on me, The customer always asks you, hey, Keith, who should I go through on financing with this? And it was in the early days from 94 to probably 2002. It was always XYZ. And then I'd go in and see the customer 6 months later, and the guy's like, oh, this damn loan, or something happened, or, oh, I didn't know it was this, or I didn't understand that the interest rate was, it was just, and I felt bad. So this one guy who's the best, John Morellis, literally would send me rate sheets, and he'd send me rate sheets. I wouldn't say daily because that would be too much, but it was frequently enough that I'd see a rate sheet and I'm like, I was going in to get a deal, and interestingly enough, I opened my email and there's a rate sheet. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I grabbed a copy of the rate sheet. I go in there, sell the machine, And I said, you know what? This guy he sends me stuff. His rates are great. Let's go with Intech, and we went with this guy. And I am telling you, John Morales, God bless the guy. He is a guy like me. He takes care of the customer. He answers the phone. We had our first Torno sale down to MSM, Enrique, who was on the podcast. Enrique literally sent him the sales order. An hour later, had it approved.
Yeah.
The guy is awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, Intech is a amazing funding source. I always used to say in my spiel to the customers, after 30 years of selling machine tools, I got one used guy, I got one tooling guy, and I got one finance guy, because each one of those guys, sometimes you need a machine to come out, right, to put one in. So I had to have a honest, good used guy. And George Malowin at Rockfish Machinery is the best. John Morales is the best on the financing.
I was like impressed when they were talking. A majority of the time, they don't even look at credit reports.
Yeah.
They're just like, you have a history.
Yep.
We're gonna trust you. We're gonna give you a certain amount, and as you build with us and have a relationship with us, we'll give you more.
App only up to 500,000, no pull of your credit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How crazy.
Crazy.
I mean,
And you've used them for, again, how many
23 years.
and you love them, and everybody loves them.
Dude,
and that's huge, and that's who we're using.
If I didn't give a deal to Haas, because they had their own CNCA financing, which I gave every other deal to Intech in 23 years, and a lot of machines later, I never had one issue ever with John.
Boom.
I mean, not one.
awesome.
So now people can go to our website. You can actually purchase these machines. You can actually finance them through Intech.
So great.
Boom.
We're doing
Keith
it.
Grano,
Yes, sir.
Jesse,
Keith.
Barry,
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
the team out
guys are
there.
the
What's up,
best.
guys?
Yeah.
Hey, we
Heck
would
yeah.
not be here. I just shout out to my guys over here. behind
One last
camera.
thing. I'm just going to say one last thing. We will have future videos with these two and this man right here in front of it, showing you exactly what these things are capable
making
of.
crazy parts.
Yeah, hell yeah. Those are coming in the future, boys and,
Boom.
and girls.
Yes.
And then
chips.
shout out to the guys.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hell yeah.
All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Peace.
Sweet.
Boom.